Tell us what your headcount requirements are and what kind of skill sets they need to have. We train such people on your behalf completely at our cost. You don't need to spend even 1 rupee for it, and we try to make them available by the time you require them. So if you give us a 3 months heads up that let us say by June I want 100 people who know this particular AI application, and let us presume the colleges yet are not teaching those applications or that aspect of AI. We will train students as an additional course or a curriculum as a part of their studies. So obviously this program is meant for students. So this is for freshers. If you are recruiting, let us say 100 freshers, I will train 500 of them and you pick the best 100 out of them. And this is completely free of cost. You don't spend even 1 rupee, and we maintain the quality that you expect and we deliver it by the day you require them. So in fact, task has an internal benchmark which is called first day, first hour. What it means is that if someone has completed a task course, then right on day one, in the very first hour, you can put that a candidate on a live project and he will start working. He does not require any further training or orientation or hand-holding, etc. So please look at decentralization strategy also, so that while as a government we are trying to ensure that the infrastructure is good, it is competitive, we don't run into a Bangalore-like situation. But at the same time, if you also take this call that part of my workforce will be shifted to, let us say, Eastern Hyderabad or Northern Hyderabad or Southern Hyderabad, or in one of these plug-and-play facilities in the smaller towns. Incidentally, in South Hyderabad and East Hyderabad, we are also building similar towers. In East Hyderabad, we are building it at a place called Medchel, which also is a large neighborhood. If you actually count some of your employees, in fact, quite a few of your employees possibly are commuting from Medchel all the way to Pachibal. And similarly, in the south of Hyderabad, we are setting up this facility, this IT tower at a place called Malakpet. And again, if you take stock, not many of your employees would be actually, I think I made a mistake by telling you to give me only 10 minutes. 10 minutes are up, but I need 5 minutes more, please. So that's all. So that is one thing. Please look at reorganizing your workforce and any possible help that you require from us to think of a tier 2 location or a location outside Hyderabad. If there is any real estate issue, if there is any staffing issue, if there is any other thing that concerns you, let us say safety of your women employees or anything else which matters. Let us say something is missing, a good hospitality facility is missing in that area. Whatever is you think will add to the attraction of that place, and companies will start moving there. Please feel free to bring this to our notice. So this is one point which I wanted to make. That please look at decentralizing. And I'm very, very sure that if you actually look at all the job roles which you have currently in Hyderabad in your office here, you will be able to hive off many job roles which perhaps do not require very costly resources, occupying costly real estate, and spending huge amounts of time on commute. So this was the first point. The other points I'll try to tell you very, very briefly. While speaking about commute, the other very important responsibility is to look at sustainable mobility. While mobility is important and we all know the value of it, let us also look at sustainable mobility. And there are 2-3 things which we want to promote as a government. One, of course, is electric mobility. So as was shared by Mr. Agarwal, lots of data was shown about how you utilize, you provide vehicles, you utilize public transport, etc. Try to give, as time goes by, try to phase out the ICE vehicles. Suppose you hire a transport provider who gets buses or coaches to ferry your employees. Give him 6 months time, ask him to buy an electric bus and start using it. People who run cars, ask them to shift to electric cars, etc. Electric mobility is very important. 4 years earlier or 5 years earlier, when one would speak about electric mobility, one question which would be always raised is, the charging infrastructure is not there, and therefore there is always a risk that I ask my vendor to buy electric cars, but there will be no charging wherewithal, and then there will be challenges. Employees will not reach the office on time, and so on and so forth. So this problem has been sorted out to a very large extent. I would say 90% of this problem is sorted out. We have multiple charging stations around the city, across the city. As a company, if you want to put charging stations in your office complex, it is very easy to do so. We have streamlined the process. Some of you may be aware that a renewable energy policy was introduced by the government just about 20 days ago, 3 weeks ago. If you have not seen it, please download a copy. It has a few pages exclusively on this electric mobility charging station. What is the process if you want to establish your own charging station? There is a lower tariff for an electric charging station. We have also created a facility in which the charging station itself can be powered by solar energy, and you can buy that solar energy at a discounted price, and so on and so forth. So lots of benefits have been provided, and very good response has come. In fact, today morning only someone told me that he is setting up 70 charging stations, and as a part of a social obligation, he wants to give all these 70 charging stations to Dalit entrepreneurs. So he wants to run a very inclusive kind of a organization, and he wanted to take my kind of suggestions on how to scout for these Dalit entrepreneurs, etc. I led him to the right way. So this is an important thing, that please bring electric mobility as much as possible into your fleet operations, etc. The third important thing to mention is that in the World Economic Forum event which happened recently at Davos, you will be aware that our Chief Minister participated, and in one of the forums, one of the public forums, he made a very important announcement. See, we are in 2025, so the government here has created a vision for the next 25 years, that is till 2050, and this is called Telangana Rising. So what will the government achieve in the next 50 years? In collaboration with all the stakeholders, the companies, the individuals, the professionals, the private sector, not-for-profit sector, academic institutions, NGOs, startups, and so on and so forth. So one of the important aspects of that Telangana Rising 2050 is that we will try to become net zero by that day. And various things will have to be done to become net zero. The net zero commute is one part, but there are so many other issues also related to net zero. And the renewable energy policy which was introduced is also a very key component of the government aiming to become net zero. So that is again a very important part which speaks about